Hello, Tracy. How are you?
Hello, I'm very well, thank you, my lovely. I've got some weird thing on my screen at the moment that's blocking your face. So
Okay.
so it's saying this meeting is being recorded by the host. So I'm just not quite sure how to get rid of that. I just
Yes,
say, right,
just
okay, perfect. We've got it. We've got it sorted.
yes,
A few little technical gremlins here and there, but we're getting there.
yes, yeah. So, friends, we have Tracy here, and let me give a small intro about her. Tarot Tracy is a psychic medium and teacher. She uses tarot and angel cards to connect with you, and spirit often drop in too. She has years of experience having worked with fantastic mentors. Her readings are always positive and healing. So that's Tracy for us. Let us know more about her in her own words. So, Tracy, how did you get into this tarot card reading?
Right, okay. Well, Nizam, lovely to meet you and lovely to be invited to do this little interview with you. Thank you very much. So my tarot card reading journey started when I first got into spiritualism,
Mhm.
probably only about 10 years ago, when I used to sit in a circle with a group of like-minded people, and we would do meditations, and we would link in with our spirit family members and our spirit guides. And then at the end of those sessions, we used to do oracle cards and tarot cards.
Okay.
And I had a reading with a medium. I hadn't had very much personal experience of mediums, but I had a reading with a medium, and she said in years to come, she can see me being surrounded by tarot cards. I thought, okay, that's interesting. Because at the time I hadn't really got that much interest. But sitting in this lovely circle with all these wonderful people who got years of experience, we did various workshops. We had various guest mediums come in. This was all in people's houses, by the way. It was always a very private little group that we did. And I ended up being taught the tarot card by a lovely, lovely medium who I'm still friends with. And she taught me to read them in a slightly different way because, as you probably know, the tarot cards, they have a bit of a bad call sometimes. People think that they can be quite negative and they're a little bit scared of them. But if they're used in the right way, and if you work with them positively, they are very positive and they are very healing. Okay. So that's how I work with them, and that's how I was taught to work with them. So always with the healing light, always with the angels. Even if you get a negative card or what looks like a negative card, I promise you it isn't. Okay. It always has a positive meaning.
So thank you for sharing that, Tracy, because that was my next question. Are there really like positive tarot cards and negative tarot cards?
Well, there are, absolutely. And some people read tarot cards in a totally different way to what I do, because people use them as a fortune telling tool. This is the reputation that they have, that they are a fortune telling tool. However, for me personally, I feel that it is a picture book of what is happening around you at the moment. So whether it looks like, whether you get the death card, the tower, whatever it is, I promise you it has a positive meaning, because what it means is there's the end. So for instance, the death card, it means the end of something and a fresh start. So it's leaving all of that negativity behind you, taking anything positive that you've learned from that hardship and bringing it forwards. So I always try and read cards in a positive light, and they always should be, in my opinion. If people seek out tarot readers and they get the death card and they say, oh, somebody in your family in 6 weeks' time is going to die, they shouldn't be reading tarot. Okay, that's not how, because you could totally change the course of somebody's life, you know, the path that somebody is taking by giving them that kind of tarot reading. So I don't believe that they should be used like that. And that's certainly not how I was taught to use them. So.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that, Tracy.
You're welcome.
And see, a normal tarot card reader and a psychic medium doing a tarot card reading. How is it different, Tracy?
Anybody can read the tarot cards, but what I would say is a lot of people that read tarot cards are normally connected to spiritual work or psychic work because they tend to link in. So somebody could just do that, somebody who's not particularly on their spiritual pathway could do their tarot cards, but unless they've had training or have an understanding of them, it's not necessarily a positive thing to do. So for somebody like me and other tarot card readers that are out there, when you've had the proper training and the proper experience and you give a tarot card reading to somebody, I feel like you're in good hands with me because I know what I'm doing and I trust what I'm doing. Some people will pick up a pack of tarot cards, they will just start reading them, the death comes out, the devil comes out, all these negative, and then they're paranoid. So I think in the right hands, they are a very positive tool and they can be very healing, absolutely. But the difference between being a psychic and not being a psychic, I would say most people who use tarot do have an interest in psychic work or in spirituality, and that tends to be what leads them to the tarot cards.
Okay, that's wonderful. And Tracy, could you please share some of the wonderful experiences you have had with clients? Of course, we don't use anyone's names, but how did you help through tarot card reading to your clients, and what kind of changes they experienced and all that?
Well, I've had lovely feedback on. You'll see on my Facebook page that I've got quite a few testimonials that have come up from various people, and I've always had really positive, lovely feedback. And because it's very healing, I am actually a Reiki practitioner. I'm a spiritual medium, I'm a psychic medium, and I use tarot. I've been very fortunate to work with wonderful people in my life who have given me all sorts of tools to work with, and tarot is the way that I have gone. So if you were to have a tarot card reading from me with that psychic link, and sometimes spirit pop in, we can't always guarantee it, but sometimes spirit do pop in, it would always be very healing. It would always be very positive. It's a picture book of what's happening around you at the moment. It's the very near past and the very near future. So it would just be confirmation for you of what's happening in your life. If you had a specific question to ask, I have my angel cards, which again are done in positivity and love. So your angels will be giving you direct answers. And I believe that when you put your energy onto your cards, and I've worked with them for many years, and you do it in love and light, and you do it in positivity, everything that is the outcome is very, very healing for that person. So everybody that I've read for, I don't think I've touched wood, not anybody who said to my face, but I don't think I've had any negative feedback or because it's very healing and it's very positive.
Awesome. So generally, with what kind of challenges people come to you, Tracy, for tarot card reading?
Yeah, I think sometimes people are just looking for answers, aren't they? Just in life in general, because as we know, life, in all our lives, we have highs and lows, we have ups and downs, we have hardships, don't we? Sometimes people just want that confirmation. They're asking whether they should have a house move, whether they should have a job move. They want loved ones to come through from the spirit realms. And again, I always say we can never guarantee it, but they never normally let us down. So I feel that people reach out, particularly with this COVID situation that we found ourselves in over the last couple of years. I feel that more and more people need guidance and need that support, and they've turned to mediums, tarot card readers, whatever it is, to get that extra support and help, you know, hopefully in a positive light for the answers that they need.
Wonderful. So what I understand is tarot card is a beautiful thing which can be used for answers, for clarity. And what I liked is, Tracy, you saying cards in the right hands can do really a lot of wonders. Excellent.
Absolutely.
And just for our audience, could you please pull out a card and give me some message?
Well, interestingly, I will pull you a card live as well. But interestingly, Nizam, when I connect with somebody, I always sit in the quiet and I always ask for cards to come out for you. And I have 3 cards already, but just for the doubters out there, I will also do you a live card as well so that they can see me shuffling them. But I always ask up for the person I'm going to be sitting with and working with. I shuffle the cards, I wait for the cards to fly out. And they've flown out, and they've flown out for you, Nizam. So I'm going to show you the ones that have flown out first of all. So I have 2 from my beautiful, beautiful standard tarot pack. I call them a standard tarot pack, but they are my magical tarot cards that I work with all of the time. And then I have one that's come out from my beautiful Ask the Angel cards. So these are my 2 favorite packs that I work with. But when I sat in the quiet and I asked up for you, my lovely, I've mentioned this card already this morning. So you have the Tower.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. So interestingly, this was a card that I also posted on my page this morning, because I put cards up for people to choose, and a lot of people chose this card this morning, not knowing what it was. So the Tower is a major arcana card. It's a power card, and it actually looks quite dramatic.
Yes.
Because you've got somebody falling from the tower, you've got fire, you've got thunder and lightning.
Yes.
Everything's happening, you've got crashing waves. What I want to say to you, if this represents your life at the moment, my lovely, there's been a lot going on for you, and it's been a little bit overwhelming. Things have been coming at you, and all it's showing me is that you need to slow down, take stock, slow down and build on a more solid foundation. Everything might feel a little bit wobbly around you at the moment, so you just need to take stock and build on a more solid foundation, brick by brick, to get everything back into alignment.
Okay.
I do feel that you are very balanced. I know that you will know about your chakras, so I do feel that you are very balanced, and I can also see a beautiful aura around you, so I know that your aura is absolutely beautiful and you're very open spiritually as well. So the second card that's come out, also a major arcana card, so this is the Empress.
Wow.
Okay, which is beautiful, and this is a lovely card to follow on, because this shows me that to get everything back into balance for your life, lovely, you need to get out into Mother Nature. So you need to go outside, you need to be in the fresh air, you need to ground yourself, you need to sit in the quiet, do things that make you feel good. So be creative, be it drawing, writing, speaking, whatever it is. I feel that you are very good at speaking and also helping people. So whatever it is that helps you to reground and regroup, this will help with the Tower to get everything to back into balance. And you also have your feet on the crescent moon in this card. So that tells me that nighttime is very relevant for you.
Okay.
So sitting in the quiet, meditating, being at peace, looking at the stars and the moon, I feel that this would be very powerful for you. Okay. All right. Do those make sense to you?
Yes.
Perfect. And then the angel card that came out for you, I am going to draw a card live for you, but the angel card that came out for you is, it's up to you.
Okay.
So whatever it is that you are asking about at this current time, whatever that question is around you at the moment, it's up to you. You can ask up to your angels, but predominantly you're living an earthly life, and it's up to you to make that decision. Okay, so it's up to you. You have to take that course of action, but you can ask for help from your loved ones, from your guides, and from your angels. Okay, so now we're going to do a live card for you. So we've got my lovely tarot here. So I'm going to shuffle them, and I've got one that's flown out already. So I was going to say to you, you can say stop, and I'll take one from the top. But when we get a flyer, we know that is for you. So we have a beautiful Pentacles card here. So this is the 6 of Pentacles, okay, and it's earthly matters, all right? So this is to do with finances and to do with your career at the moment. And you can be too generous. Sometimes you give too much to people. So it's not just finances, it can be your time and yourself as well. So you're giving a little bit too much, because you'll see on this card, you've got little begging hands here. Right, so people I feel like people are grabbing at you and they're pulling your time a little bit too much, and you're giving too much of yourself. So not just financially, but also your time and yourself. So again, it's making sure that you recharge those batteries, learn to say no, and to not feel guilty or worry about it. Because you have to look after yourself first before you can look after other people.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Wonderful.
Good.
Yeah. So, Tracey, shall I share some surprising or different experience I have had? Before I have asked you, could you please pull out a card? When we were talking about the card, I got the image of this tower card.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I was like, wow, I didn't want to stop you. I wanted you to finish off the reading first. And then I was like, what? They
are magic cards.
Yes.
I always say to people, trust that the cards that come out are for you, because I've set that intention already, and you've set that intention, and it's that connection of energies, isn't it? That's where that lovely psychic link comes in. So how wonderful is that you pictured that card, and that card was here sitting on my desk waiting for you, because that was what flew out to begin with.
Amazing. So, Tracy, I'm sorry to ask this question, but because the way in movies it is projected that, people will go and the tarot card readers manipulate and all that. So, friends, whoever are watching this, the one of the major intention why I have reached out to Tracy or different mediums and this interview series is to remove the myths around this beautiful processes of mediumship, psychic readings, and tarot card reading. So why I said is like what people show in the movies. Isn't it when it comes to reality? Isn't it different, Tracy? See, like we have seen a real demo of a tarot card reading right now.
Well, when you talk about movies, Nizam, the
Yes.
instant movie that comes to mind is Ghost. Okay,
Yes.
with Patrick
Yes.
Swayze, Whoopi Goldberg. Now, what I want to say is Whoopi Goldberg's character in that is fantastic, but she is like a psychic medium on steroids with the drama and everything. However, I do feel, and I know a lot of other mediums do feel, that Ghost is very, very similar to, in reality, what happens when we die, our physical body dies, and our spirit passes over. So when Patrick Swayze dies in that film and his spirit leaves his body, this, in a lot of mediums' belief, is very realistic. The only bit that isn't realistic in our mind is when that baddie at the end gets taken away by all these nasty spirits. We don't actually believe that happens. But yes, unfortunately, in the movies, all of these psychics and mediums and these people with the big, I mean, I've got a lovely crystal ball behind me, but it's all very dramatic, isn't it? It's all for artistic license. But in fact, my crystal ball behind me, I really use that for energy. So this room that I work in, I feel that the more that you work, the more you raise your vibration, and the more spiritual energy comes in and works with you. And that crystal ball stores that energy. And I do cover it up during the day, but I uncover it when I'm working. Okay, and you can also charge it up by moonlight, like any crystals. I feel that they really do contain energy. And also, if you put your hands on it and you fill it with love and light, just like with cards, with crystals, anything you work with, it will work in a very powerful way. But a lot of people with headscarves, big earrings, a crystal ball in front of them, it's very sort of, it's very movies and very fairground. Absolutely, absolutely.
And also what not is visible in the crystal ball, and the client is also watching that. So such things, do they happen really, Tracy?
In reality, no, because I will sit and scry. So anybody who doesn't know what scrying is, it's when you look into a mirror or you look into water or you look into a crystal ball and you just see if you can see any images. And if you're clairaudient or psychic, a lot of the time, clairvoyant or psychic, a lot of the time you will be able to see things. But if you're sitting there and waiting for a ship to manifest and that your client is going to see it as well, no, unfortunately, that's just stuff of movies. It doesn't work like that. A lot of it is in our third eye. It's actually in our third eye. We don't see things in the physical. A very rare gift is to see a ghost or a spirit in the physical. A lot of the time we see things in our third eye, which is our clairvoyance. So absolutely.
One more thing, Tracy, because see, the reason is I have had these personal experiences when I used to teach Reiki. While attunement, we used to have this experience of angels' presence. At times, we used to see the present angels and all that. So yes, this is such a beautiful thing. One more question, Tracy. In the movies, after visiting the tarot card reader or mediums, various strange things happen and they regret that, oh my god, I shouldn't have visited the tarot card reader, or something negative is happening. So what is your clarification about such myth people have around?
It's what I would say to people is never have a psychic reader reading, a mediumistic reading, or a tarot reading when you are feeling low. And I know a lot of people do reach out to people when they are feeling low, but I always say to people, you need to keep your vibration high, because what you give out, you get back. All right. So when I work, I always work on a high vibration. And I don't know if you see, I do lives on Facebook, and I do a lot of one-to-one tutorials, and I do one-to-one readings. However, I will never work if I'm ill or if I'm not very well,
Okay.
because I feel that everything needs to be on this lovely high vibration. So although potentially people are coming to you who might be on that slightly lower vibration because they're upset or distraught because they've lost their mother or their grandfather or whatever it might be, I feel that when they've left me, they will leave with positivity. I can't guarantee that will happen with all tarot card readers and all mediums for the reasons we've discussed earlier about if the death card comes up and then they predict that in 6 weeks' time. You know, so it really is being very careful who you choose to read for you.
Exactly.
Word of mouth is a great thing. You will probably see from me, I don't have a website. I don't have a big Facebook page. It's just me. I'm just Tarot Tracey. People, if they know where to find me, will find me. They will find out about me by word of mouth, and gradually, probably like you doing your YouTube, you gradually get more and more people that trust you and believe in you, and your audience grows. But I'm not one of these big ego people who need all the numbers for people to come in and watch. This is what I do, because it's not about that. It's about healing, and it's about love, and it's about working with the spiritual realms in the correct way. Because I feel even when you work psychically and with the tarot cards, I know my guides are working with me. I know that spirit are with me. So I'm not just doing it for a physical thing to do, but I think it's a beautiful way to incorporate it into your readings, because people see a physical thing. So they're seeing a physical card. They have something physical to look at and to go by. So it gives you that nice connection, and then gradually more and more information and psychicness creeps in with that. But also, as I say, spirit pop in as well. And I'm very, very lucky, because I've come across groups in the past that are also connected to paranormal investigating. And I know, again, some mediums don't agree with this and don't believe in this. But again, I feel if it's done in the right way, and if you're not asking spirits to do parlor tricks, but you're just getting that lovely evidence, then I also try and combine that in my reading. So behind me also, I have an EMF meter, which I turn on, which is a gadget that will fire up and go off when spirits are around, okay, because the energy changes. And I also have a cat ball. Now, a cat ball is the thing that paranormal investigators are starting to use a lot of. And it's quite simply a little ball that cats would play with. You turn it on, but it will only light up if something physically touches it. So I have that on behind me. And very often when I'm doing lives or when I'm doing readings, they will go off, the cat ball will go off. We sometimes get orbs, because I know people love the physical stuff, including me. Despite doing what I do, connecting with spirit and psychically and using the cards, I love that physical evidence. And I think sometimes we all need that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And Tracy, last question. If people want to learn this, because some teachers don't teach, it's like my subject, I want to keep it. Some people are very generous to share their secrets and mentor people and all that. I respect all sort of teachers. It all depends. Some don't want to teach because they don't want certain tools to get into the wrong hands until they meet the right person. Some teachers assess the student, and they train as well. So, if no, before I get into that question, one more question is tarot card reading equally effective online, or a person should be in your presence and take the reading, Tracy?
You're in my presence now. I'm in your presence. We're sharing that energy. So the person absolutely does not need to be with you. What I always ask is, I like to see somebody.
Okay.
So I like to physically see somebody, and also then I can show you the cards. It's not to say that readings can't be done on the telephone, because they can. You don't have to see the person. But my preference is that you have that lovely connection where you can see each other, and then you connect psychically, which you've already proved, because you knew that the tower card was there for you, which is amazing. So I believe that that person doesn't need to be in your presence, doesn't need to be with you, because if you think how we're talking, how we're connecting in different countries at different time zones, we don't need to be in the same room. We're like in other parts of the world, aren't we?
Yes, totally.
Spirit and psychic energy work the same way, absolutely work the same way. So again, it's having that trust and that belief and that faith that it will work.
Okay. And one more interesting situation I have come across is, no. Why don't you please shuffle again? So, such
Never,
so
never, never,
reshuffle,
never.
reshuffle. No, 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 I don't want. I need different answer. So what is your answer for that, Tracy?
I've never had anybody ask me that,
Okay.
because I always say at the beginning, just trust that the cards that come out are for you. So even if you're expecting a yes from your angels and you get a no, which very often happens, it's because everything isn't lined up for you yet. So it's a no at the moment, but it doesn't mean it's a no, it's never going to happen. It's just not the right time. Okay, so I never reshuffle. If somebody's still looking for answers for something, I might go to another set of cards just to give them more clarity and more confirmation. That's why I tend to use my tarot deck, also my angel cards as well, and I try and mix them up a little bit. But yeah, I've never been asked that actually, Nizam, to reshuffle. But occasionally I will give them an extra card if we need a bit more clarity on something.
Okay. And that's where about mentoring or learning from you. Do
Yeah.
you offer one-to-one or group studies,
I,
trainings as well?
I predominantly do one-to-one. So I always say to people, if they want to learn a little bit about the tarot, I'll give them like a free tutorial to quickly give them a whistle stop round the tarot about how to work with them, how to connect with them, how to put their energy on them, what energy to work with, always in love and light, always in positivity, never work with them when you're poorly. So I give them all of that guidance. But I also do coaching and tutoring for people who want to go on their spiritual journey. So I sit with them and I take them through meditations, guided meditations, and then I leave them somewhere. We go off to beautiful different places. I never quite know where we're going to go because I wait to be guided. And sometimes we end up somewhere where, wow, I didn't expect that either. And then I just leave them. I leave them and I let them connect with their spirit guides, with their family members. And I see what I can pick up with them as well. And then we come back and then we share information afterwards and we see what they saw and we see what I saw, and we kind of match up. And a lot of the time we have seen the same things. It's quite amazing how when you work on a one-to-one, you get that lovely connection. Absolutely, that lovely connection. So, but having said that, in the new year going forwards, I have got certain people I am going to group together, but still very, very small groups. So like in twos, they'll work with me and then in twos, because I know their energy will match. Because I'm sure, as you know, sometimes if you go to certain circles, sometimes you have things called open circles where anybody can turn up. But I'm sorry, but you don't know those people. You don't know what their energy is like. You don't know what they've been doing that day. They could have been raising the devil the day before. You just don't know, do you? So to go into a very personal, private environment, which is what you would get with me, is a really, really lovely thing to do, because a lot of it is a one-to-one and a lot of it is a very small group. And it's just taking you on the journey that I've been on with all my lovely mentors that I've had in my life. So it's a really nice experience to have.
Okay. That because thank you for sharing that, Tracy. Yet my question is like people from any part of the world want to get mentored by you. Still, is that possible?
It is possible.
It is.
I have to be honest and say I'm fairly booked up, but it is possible. I will always try and accommodate people. So if people want to book in for a reading next year or for a tutorial next year, I will do my best to accommodate them. But I do have limited spaces. So I just say that because I do have a lot of people I'm already mentoring and tutoring. The best way, if people are struggling to get to book in with me or to get information from me, I do quite often do a live. I try and do a live at least once a month, where I will do tarot cards, I'll do angel cards, and I will make a connection with people. I don't see them like I'm seeing you, but obviously I see their comments come up and I'll read for somebody that I'm drawn to. So if people want to jump on and watch a live, they are very, very welcome to.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. So thank you once again, Tracy. It was beautiful having you here and having this beautiful uh, conversation, especially to remove the myths around this tarot card, psychic reading, and
Absolutely.
medium, and let people experience the beauty of it and get benefited from this divination tools.
Lovely. Absolutely.
And thank you once again for your time. And
It's a pleasure.
friends, whoever wants personal reading or mentoring or training uh, with Tracy, what I'm going to do is in this interview description, I'm going to give a Facebook link of Tracy so that you can reach out to her directly.
Perfect. And they can always if they direct message me in Facebook Messenger as well, because they don't have to be a friend with me. If they want to direct message me and they can say that they've seen me through you, that's absolutely fine. Absolutely.
Sure, Tracy. Thank you. Thank you once again. Bye.
Pleasure. So lovely to meet you.
Nice meeting you too.